Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
The Liat pilots' strike hits the airline's bottom line and image. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Thursday, June 22. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. The recent three-day strike by pilots of regional airline Liat has cost the company millions of dollars, about 7 million EC dollars in losses. The airline's chief executive officer, Julie Reefer-Jones, has told Observer Media in Antigua that within a few short period, there were thousands of booking cancellations, many of them for the summer, which is the airline's peak period. Outgoing Chief Commercial Officer Lloyd Caswell confirmed that for the June to September period, about 9,000 bookings were cancelled. So far, the airline has only been able to make 1,500 rebookings. Caswell said more than 1,100 passengers were affected over the course of the strike that began on June 7 as members of the Leeward Islands Airline Pilots Association protested the non-implementation of a new pay scale for pilots who fly the company's ATR 72 aircraft. They went back to work after their union reached a deal with Liat late on June 9th, but the airline's CEO said the disruptions had already hurt the passengers, the employees and the company's image. She said most of all, confidence had been lost in the company and the brand. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has responded to criticism about his absence following the passage of Tropical Storm Brett earlier this week. During a tour of flood-ravaged parts of Debe, Pinal and Bakarpur on Wednesday, he explained why he was not more visible and vocal. We get the details from Mahela Joseph of C News.
There was heavy criticism over what seemed to be a lack of response by the government and the Prime Minister in particular. The Prime Minister admitted he was in Tobago over the long Labor Day weekend, but said he was able to tour those affected as soon as possible.
And while I was in Tobago, the reports that we were getting from the Met Service and the directional projections of the park was that Tobago would have been receiving the worst of it. So I was scheduled to come back on Tuesday. I overnight in Tobago. The storm passed through on Tuesday. Storm conditions and storm warnings were discontinued at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. And I'm here on Wednesday.
Prime Minister Rowley added that he had been kept abreast of developments all along as he was continuously in contact with all stakeholders involved in the monitoring of the storm.
Continuously in contact with all the people who mattered on the monitoring. I was in contact with the National Security Council people. I was in contact with the ODPM. I was in contact with the ministers responsible to make sure that we had preparations in place to treat with whatever came during the storm.
Bahamas' Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has announced that his administration is reviewing questionable contracts issued by the former government after Hurricane Matthew last October. He said that in one instance, a contractor was paid multiple occasions in one day in amongst around $200,000 for each payment. That individual got more than $8 million in total. Janine Noel Ferguson of ZNS Network News has that story.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis disclosed the information in Parliament Tuesday night, noting that undoubtedly it would take the average person a considerable amount of time to receive payment from government, but this vendor in question was able to receive multiple payouts in one day.
On the 20th, he got a check for $206,400. But then he came back that afternoon on the 20th and got another check for $220,912. But that wasn't enough. He came back on the 20th and got another check for $225,750. Then he came back on the 26th of January, and got a check for $206,400. I could provide this to you. Don't write, it's all here. Then he came back the 26th again, he could, and got another check for $195,900. Then the 26th he came back and got another check for $226,800.
But the Prime Minister said it did not end there. The same vendor also received more payments.
But I'll just say, the day before election, on the 9th of May, he got $151,524.
He said the information discovered was shocking, as the vendor was also given multiple contracts for companies he owned. Some, he said, were not registered, to sort out debris at a number of dump sites following Hurricane Matthew.
Awarded 3 contracts in the name of 3 companies as follows: Earth Movers Incorporated Company, $240,000 for cleaning and sorting debris at Howell Road dump site for 2 months. That's a good pay, $240,000 for 2 months. Heavy Truck Line Services, next company, Heavy Truck Line Services, $619,560 for cleaning and sorting debris at the Sports Center dump site for 3 months. Right? An Industrial Heavy and Duty Equipment Company, $198,000 for cleaning and sorting at Carmichael and Bacardi Road dump site for 3 months.
We got all the dumps.
I want that job. I'll leave medicine tomorrow. So, contracts for these 3 cleanup activities total $1,057,560.
Now, Prime Minister Minnis said he will pass the information on to the Auditor General for a full investigation.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Minnis has taken the former government to task for what he described as a reckless decision not to maintain its Caribbean catastrophe risk insurance facility payments, and he has instructed his finance minister to ensure that the policy is reactivated. Minnis says the Perry Christie administration's gross incompetence resulted in the country losing out on more than $32 million in potential insurance payouts following Hurricane Matthew, while countries like Haiti, St. Lucia and Barbados received payments within 14 days of filing their claims.
It only cost $900,000. And we lost over $32 million because of your poor advice and poor management. You and I, we are the stewards of the people's money. And the time has to come when we must be held responsible. Yeah.
In Grenada, a 4th politician within the ruling New National Party has announced his intention to bow out of politics. Education Minister Anthony Boson says if the party's leadership wants him to stand for the upcoming election, which is constitutionally due early next year, it will be his last. We get more in this report from GBN News.
Education Minister Anthony Boson says that if he is selected by the NNP executive to contest the upcoming general election, it will most likely be the last time his name will appear on a ballot paper. In an interview with GBN yesterday, Minister Boson said that he has served his country well and it is now time to pass the baton to the younger generation.
Really that this would be my fifth, if I am selected as a candidate to run for the constituency, and that's a decision for the Prime Minister, for the political leader on the selection committee to make. And if they select me as a candidate, I'll make it clear that that would be my last election. I do not intend to go beyond that. This would be my 5th attempt. 5 terms, I mean, that's a long time. We have to meet for new leadership in the constituency. And I do not intend to continue beyond that if I am selected to run as a candidate. Definitely, this will be my last election if I'm contesting.
Boson told GBN that he has his reasons for willing to contest the upcoming general election.
The reason why I'm really in this thing, because I want to see some of the projects that we have started in St. Patrick continue. I'm given the history of what happened in the past, where we started certain projects and the new government came in and they terminated the project. I am pretty much against that. And therefore I believe that if the new National Party is there, and if I am there, I will definitely give my all to ensure that this project continues, especially this project we have in Sater, the Breakwater, with a view to creating a marina. I would like to see that continue, because we knew what happened in 2008. So once this is on, and everything is going fine, I think, I would have done my best and make way for new blood.
Minister Boussoun is the fourth member of the ruling New National Party in recent weeks to confirm his planned leave from frontline politics. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, the political leader of the New National Party, announced earlier this month that the next time Grenadians go to the poll, it will most likely be the last time his name may appear on the ballot. Parliamentary Representative for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, Elvin Nimrod, and MP for St. Andrews North East, Roland Bowler, says that they would no longer contest the next general election. The party's political leader said the changes in his party are part of his plans for transitioning leadership.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, there's opposition in Jamaica to legislation that would give police sweeping emergency powers. Do stay with us.
Ready.
It's another episode when we out on the road. This is what we love to celebrate, to celebrate. This is not Hollywood. No, we don't come out of road.
Drink, drink, drink.
King Baba and Nikita. Hey, hey, hey. Every fact that I go, you keep on calling me wrong name. But that's okay, cause that's my babe. I don't understand how wearing a name tag on me. You know what to say, you still calling me wrong name.
Don't get vexed with me. Don't say that.
Follow your heart to the 21st edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival from the 22nd to the 24th of June, featuring Shabba Ranks, Ultimate Rejects, The Boozman, Mobado, Jack Pure, DJ Private Riot, and back together again, Square One. Also performing Third World, Voice, King Mighty Chalk Dust, Credence Clearwater Revisited, Ed Robinson, Ricardo Drew, Teddyson John, Felicia Ross, Brianna D, Lyrical, and Goo Goo Dolls. For more information, log on to www.stkitsmusicfestival.net.
Welcome to SwiftPack, your online shopping and shipping solution. Receive the best rates, expert cargo management, and exceptional customer service. SwiftPack provides secure handling of your smallest packages to your largest cargo with speed and reliability. We invite you to use our U.S. mailbox service, online shopping, ship air and ocean cargo from the supplier to your door. We handle it all for you. Get started now. Sign up for a free regular account or premium account, or give us a call on 440-6100. SwiftPack. You shop, we ship, you save.
In Jamaica, opposition members of a Joint Select Committee of Parliament have shot down a piece of legislation that seeks to give police sweeping emergency powers to go into volatile communities. They say the Special Zones of Operation Act is unnecessary and dangerous. TVJ's Herman Green reports on what happened during a review of the bill on Wednesday.
Firstly, opposition spokesman on national security Peter Bunting says it's totally unnecessary. Government members and representatives of the Police High Command presented arguments highlighting the necessity to their fight against crime. Deputy Commissioner of Police Clifford Blake says there are cases where an area which the police had regained control of crime regressed to its previous state. He cites Barrett Town in St. James, where the cops had intervened, killing several gang members in January. A quadruple murder this month illustrates their concern.
Here was an opportunity for all these various stakeholders to actually go in the community and do the kind of community development that would lead to long-lasting peace inside it. And we are saying is that with the proposed special zone of operation, once the area has been contained, then the security forces will create the conditions for other agencies to move in
when the security forces don't perform, they are held to account. The social intervention agencies and the breakdown when you go into communities has always been once the security forces have to pull back, the thing goes back to normal. What this bill is doing by creating an all-of-government response, the accountability for other agencies to go in and to discharge their mandate, the bill is creating that accountability framework.
But Mr. Bunting believes giving the police more power is not the answer and says the Barretttown example proves his point.
We don't have any lack of police powers right now to go in and do the clear element that was done effectively by the GSF in the Barretttown case. It's the support of the social agencies that let them down.
Mark Golding agreed with his colleague and also bashed the idea as he says history shows that it's a step in the wrong direction.
The Suppression of Crime Act was a bad move and had to be repealed. The crime bills, some of the key provisions were struck down as unconstitutional. Others were left to expire under their sunset clauses. And I regard this as a particularly dangerous example of that because of the manner in which these zones are imposed, the lack of effective oversight, and the potential for this to be an ongoing arrangement of indefinite duration.
They believe the bill will also create legislative and bureaucratic confusion that would distract from the real issue of solving crime and delivering social intervention in troubled communities. The committee will meet with other stakeholder groups next week.
The St. Lucia government has brushed aside calls for a gun amnesty, instead urging people to consider more amicable and peaceful ways of dealing with their problems. National Security Minister Hermangild Francis told reporters that a similar initiative the last time around did not get any firearms and government isn't going that route again. Francis, a former acting police commissioner, said citizens need to assist the police in maintaining law and order. He said they must also engage in conflict resolution rather than turning to violence to settle scores. So far this year, 28 people have been murdered in St. Lucia. Now that cannabis oil is approved for medical use in the Cayman Islands, Jamaica's fledgling cannabis industry is seeing potential there. We get more in this Cayman 27 News report.
Jason Hensel has sat on Jamaica's Cannabis Licensing Authority for 2 governments, and he says Jamaica is poised to capitalize on what he likened to the next dot-com boom, the marijuana industry. He says Jamaica's recent decision to decriminalize ganja has opened the door to supply Cayman with its medicinal oils.
I think that it's going to mean a lot for Jamaica. We know that Cayman has legalized the oils. So I think that's an opportunity for Jamaican companies to export to the Cayman Islands.
Jamaica decriminalized ganja a year and a half ago. Mr. Hensel says decriminalization has sparked major interest among investors.
Newsline Sport, Windies batsman Jason Mohammed aiming to impress in the upcoming ODI series against India. Chat-in CARICOM, your chance to get answers to questions about the regional integration process and how it affects you.
Why is the process taking so long? Countries tend to retain a sense of identity, even if they have a common region, common ancestry, or common cultures.
Join CARICOM and CARIVision for Chat-in CARICOM, Wednesday, June 28 at 8 p.m.
It's a bit more of community forum where perhaps persons can really learn about this thing called CSME.
Chat-in CARICOM, Wednesday, June 28 at 8 p.m.
It's not at the political level, but at the grassroots level. We are the ones that need to make the idea of the CSME become a reality.
Chat-in CARICOM, a community for all.
On building one Caribbean.
If you like dancing and whining and fretting till the morning, if you like
drinking, masquerading, live music always playing,
if you like islands of blue seas where people always smiling, if you like
street jams and bandstands where people will be jamming. Don't you miss this time, no. Our festival, our legacy. Don't you miss this
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
Celebrating 40 years of fun in the June-July sun. Vincimas 2017. Enjoy the exciting blend of mass and painted steel and glitter. There's a Monday street party like no other. And the explosion of colors at Mardi Gras. Don't be left out of the Vincimas 40th birthday celebration. Evo 4.0. Evo 4.0. There's Kaiso and the energy at Soca Monarch. June 30th to July 11th. Vincimas, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Check out Vincimas on Facebook or carnivalsvg.com for more details. Vincimas.
We're ready for Mars.
West Indies batsman Jason Mohammed is hoping to mark his first international appearance before his home crowd with something special, and the Trinidadian hopes the occasion can produce his maiden one-day international 100. The 30-year-old right-hander has been the leading batsman for West Indies this year in ODIs, gathering 292 runs from 8 innings at an average of 41, with a career-best unbeaten 91 against Pakistan in Guyana last April. He's once again expected to be a key player in the Indies middle order in the 5-match series against India. Mohammed told reporters on Wednesday that scoring 3 figures against the visitors would be an amazing achievement.
Got pretty close against Pakistan with 90 odd not out. To score my first international 100 against India will be brilliant. I love to do it in front of my home crowd, and doing it at home will make it a little bit more special. Yeah, I'm very hungry for that, but at any point in time I'll take it wherever it is.
Mohammed struck 2 half-centuries in the 3-match series against Turin, England last March, and then followed up with 2 more 50s in another 3-match rubber against Pakistan in the Caribbean. He struggled against Minnows Afghanistan earlier this month with scores of 7 and 2 in his 2 innings, but said he was focused on returning to his prolific scoring in order to further establish himself.
Yeah, since coming back into the team, I think I've been fairly consistent. Probably leading batsman right now in terms of runs for the year. And obviously I want to keep that up and be the leader of this batting order. And yeah, for myself, as I said before, doing good against India will definitely boost your ranking and your status as a player. So it's something I'm looking forward to. And starting from these games in Trinidad, hopefully I can have a good start to the series. And just push it through the series in terms of the 5 games, coming out with some good scores.
West Indies face India in the opening ODI on Friday at Queen's Park Oval and play the second 2 days later at the same venue. The series continues at the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Stadium in Antigua with a doubleheader on June 30 and July 2 before wrapping up at Sabina Park in Jamaica on July 6. Meanwhile, all-rounder Kieron Pollard is setting sights on the lone T20 international against India, which bores off on July 9 in Kingston. The hard-hitting batsman and right-arm pacer is hoping for a selection in the inexperienced side with the aim of bringing back some pride to West Indies cricket. TV6's Vinod Nawani spoke with Pollard over the weekend and filed this report.
West Indies all-rounder Kieron Pollard is known for his big hitting and brilliant catching, mainly in the T20 format. Over the weekend, Pollard and his TNT teammates were playing in a community windball cricket match organized by fellow West Indies star Samuel Badri in Barrackpore. And he took some time out to speak about his upcoming plans.
Right now, just training, doing some physical training, trying to keep in shape. In the immediate future, CPL is around the corner. CPL starts in August. I think before that, West Indies, we have a series against India. I think there's one T20, so whenever that team is announced, if I'm selected, that's going to happen before CPL. So those are the 2 things that I'm looking forward to.
Regarding his long-term plans, Pollard wants to continue representing the West Indies with the hope of bringing in positive results.
There's lots to achieve. There's lots of runs out there. There's lots of 6s to hit. There's lots of 4s. My contribution, to Trinidad and West Indies cricket, we want to continue to contribute in a positive way, and hopefully, you know, in years to come, you know, I can, you know, contribute positively in the bringing back, you know, West Indies cricket, you know, where I think it belongs.
There is life after cricket as well. So what plans does the 30-year-old have outside of the game?
So those things to accomplish. I'm a young man still, you know, a young family, so there's a lot of different things, you know, I want to accomplish, you know, don't want to mention it or, you know, put it out there too much, but in life there's always something to accomplish, so I'm looking forward to, you know, trying to contribute on the cricket field and then afterwards see if I can, you know, divert in something else other than cricket as well.
Just 2 weeks after shocking West Indies to take their first win over a major test playing side, Minnows Afghanistan have been granted test status by the International Cricket Council. They were unanimously adopted as full members along with the Ireland in a vote at the ICC Full Council meeting in London on Thursday. Afghanistan, coached by former West Indies head coach Phil Simmons, has made waves over the last year with victory in the Intercontinental Cup over Ireland in March and one-day wins over Ireland, Zimbabwe and Scotland. They snatched the headlines earlier this month when they stunned two-time former World Cup champions West Indies, winning the first one-day international of the three-match series at the Darren Sammy ground in St. Lucia by 63 runs. They then forced the Windies to labour in pursuit of 136 for victory in the second match before the hosts got home by 4 wickets in the 40th over. Afghanistan and Ireland will become the 11th and 12th test playing nations, joining Australia, India, England, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, New Zealand, Zimbabwe and West Indies. And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with diabetes? If so, it is important that you know about Glucerna. Glucerna is a nutritional supplement for people with diabetes and contains Carb Steady, which helps minimize blood sugar spikes. Manage your diabetes with Glucerna. Glucerna, nutrition for people with diabetes, designed for you.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. Again, the major developments of this day. Liat says the recent pilot's strike hit the airline's bottom line and image. And in sport, Windies batsman Jason Mohammed aiming to impress in the upcoming ODI series against India. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to karnanews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.